Expansion isn't just about adding a team, it's about tapping into new markets, building rivalries, and growing a sport in ways that shape its future for decades. Every city on the radar brings its own story, its own challenges, and its own shot at making sports history. New teams, new cities, and new fans can reshape the map of professional sports. Since the start of the expansion era, the NHL has expanded dramatically and now sits at 32 teams as of 2025. Even at this total, the NHL still has the ability to enter more cities to maximize its presence in North America. And this video will provide 4 locations that could see an NHL team arrive in the next few years. Starting off our list, we have Atlanta. Recent developments indicate that Atlanta may be closer to securing an NHL team than previously thought. In the past summer, the NHL met with 2 prospective buyers who are seeking to give Atlanta the league's 33rd team. As of right now, these talks haven't matured to the point where we have a proposal. Kraus Sports and Entertainment is behind one of the bids. The group is involved in a $3 billion development plan that includes an NHL-sized arena being built in Forsyth County, 43 miles away from Atlanta. Another group, known as Alpharetta Sports and Entertainment Group, seeks to develop the North Point Mall, located about 30 minutes from where Atlanta's previous NHL team, the Thrashers, used to play. Even with these plans, the NHL said they don't need construction to start on either project to bring Atlanta expansion to its owners. Now, Atlanta has tried hockey before, twice in fact, and both teams have failed for their own reasons. The Atlanta Flames left for Calgary in 1980 after 8 seasons, and the Thrashers left for Winnipeg in 2011 after 11 seasons. However, changes in the city demographics and business, as well as the proposed locations for a new arena, can eliminate some of the challenges the NHL faced with the Flames and the Thrashers. Atlanta's metro population is over 6 million, one of the largest U.S. media markets. Corporate money has also grown significantly in this booming market in the Deep South. The rough history of hockey in Atlanta makes this a really tough sell for the average fan who believes that the market is simply a no-go by this point in time. However, the city can still act as a natural bridge between Carolina and the Florida teams, and it would call for a divisional realignments that would benefit everyone in the long run. As long as the team has a competent ownership with deep pockets, the third time might be the charm for Atlanta. Number 2, Toronto. I know what you guys are thinking. The Maple Leafs already play there, so why bother mentioning Toronto as an expansion candidate? Well, there are 2 reasons, both of them pretty good. Number 1, the Greater Toronto area is massive and has been growing at a rapid pace over the years. Number 2, southwestern Ontario has been a hockey hotbed for decades, with fans crossing the border to watch games in the US cities like Buffalo or Detroit, so there is absolutely an appetite for more hockey in the region. Toronto is easily the largest economic hub in all of Canada, with a ginormous corporate market, with advertising, sponsorships, you name it. The city also has an unparalleled foothold in hockey media, and many Maple Leaf fans are infuriated with their team's lackluster performances in recent years. Many disillusioned fans could simply jump ship to a new team if they gain some early momentum, which makes a second team in the city sound like a piece of cake. Expansion would infringe on the Leafs' territorial rights, so the league would need to weigh the conflicts and revenue sharing very carefully here. Also, expansion in a city that already has a team is unusual, and in the rare instances that this has happened in NHL history, it usually has resulted in significant indemnities being paid to the franchise that is already in operation. The obvious example I'm referring to here is when the New York Islanders entered the NHL in 1972 and had to pay millions of dollars in indemnities to the New York Rangers in order to set up shop on Long Island. But if New York can have 2 teams, then Toronto should have 2 teams as well, right? Number 3, Kansas City. Kansas City may surprise you. It doesn't have a population comparable to, let's say, Toronto or Atlanta, but it checks a few important boxes: an arena ready for hockey, a history with the NHL, and a passionate regional sports culture. Kansas City was once an expansion city for the league back in the 1970s, known as the Kansas City Scouts. However, as mentioned in my previous video, the Scouts failed to generate any momentum out of the gates and relocated after just 2 seasons in the league. Now, my channel alone has shown that there is definitely hockey interest in Kansas City, and that the people there have not forgotten the city's hockey past. And there is certainly a genuine interest to bring the NHL back to the city. Downtown KC has the T-Mobile Center, an NHL-sized arena with a capacity listed around 17,500, which hosts major events year-round. Kansas City's metro population consists of roughly 2.2 million people. Not the biggest, but comparable to other Midwestern markets that support pro hockey. Geographically, it helps the NHL create balanced divisions in the central United States. The city would have rivalries with nearby teams like the St. Louis Blues and the Colorado Avalanche. If the ownership and marketing are aligned, the franchise could easily tap into Kansas City's dedicated fan base of the Chiefs and Royals, maybe even recruit some local celebrities while they're at it. Unfortunately, Kansas City does not have a corporate base comparable to other Midwestern markets, so the business plan must show regional support and sponsorships that go beyond just the local corporate dollars. Last but not least, we have Houston. Houston is a huge, rich, growing city that has been a frontrunner for NHL expansion for several years now. Recent signals provided evidence that powerful local owners want hockey in the city. Houston makes a very convincing pitch, especially if the NHL wants to continue finding big southern markets. Houston has a metro population greater than 7 million, making it one of the largest US markets that do not host a hockey team at any level. The Toyota Center, home to the NBA's Houston Rockets, has been discussed and partially retrofitted for NHL readiness, with reports suggesting upgrades could be done to enhance ice capabilities. The NHL met with a group led by billionaire Dan Friedkin in early 2025 to discuss its interest in bringing an expansion team to Houston. Friedkin has a net worth of $6.4 billion, and he recently bought a 98.8% interest stake in English Premier League club Everton. The Houston-based Friedkin Group has investments in the automotive industry, entertainment, hospitality, and sports. There is also clear evidence for the local community that hockey would be a welcome sight for Houston's sports scene, with a University of Houston survey showing majority local enthusiasm for an NHL team, indicating fan interest could be cultivated here. Houston does have a history in the sports, best known through the Houston Aeros of the World Hockey Association, who were operating throughout the 1970s until 1978, when the team attempted to make it to the NHL without the WHA support. However, since 2013, the city has been devoid of a hockey team at any level, when the Houston Aeros of the AHL relocated that year, and no league has attempted to go back there ever since. Across all 4 cities, you do see the same ingredients that the NHL prioritizes: market size and corporate revenue potential, arena capabilities, ownership with deep pockets, and of course, local commitment. There are no guarantees when it comes to these cities getting a team in the first place. Factors like ownership collapses, poor ticket sales, competition with other established pro teams in the cities, and of course the NHL's strategic goals could spell doom for any expansion idea. Also, we have to consider the past failures in Atlanta and Kansas City, in the Flames, the Thrashers, and the Scouts, which shows that the league is, at the very least, cautious about expanding into places it has already tried. But what do you guys think? Could any of these 4 cities have an expansion team in the near future? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.